Something fundamental has shifted in the world of software, a change so deep that one of the top minds in AI is saying his entire way of working has been turned upside down. Today, we're going to dive into a revolution where code isn't just written anymore. It's spoken into existence.
And this quote comes from none other than Andrej Karpathy, former head of AI at Tesla, a co-founder of OpenAI. I mean, this isn't just some casual comment he made. This marks the beginning of a whole new era, one that honestly feels like it's straight out of science fiction.
So, what does it really mean when one of the world's best programmers admits he's, well, stopped programming the old-fashioned way? This isn't just about a new tool or a neat little upgrade. We're talking about a massive, historical change in the craft itself.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Not some small, incremental improvement, but the biggest change in 20 years. A total phase change. It's the kind of tectonic shift that happens maybe once in a generation. And get this, according to Karpathy, it all happened in just a matter of weeks.
But what's really revealing here is the human side of all this. Karpathy's pretty open that this new way of working is unsettling. I mean, think about it. Going from being a master craftsman who knows every little detail of the code to being a conductor of AI agents, it kind of challenges the very identity of what it means to be a developer. It's a tension that's really more emotional than technical.
So, this new kind of emotionally charged way of working, it needed a name. And Karpathy gave it one that just stuck. It perfectly captures the intuitive, sometimes messy, and often surprising nature of this whole new world. Okay, so what is vibe coding? Well, it's really about just going with the flow. You tell the AI what you want, you see what it spits out, and you guide it with more prompts, almost like you're just having a conversation. And here's the key part, and where it gets a little controversial. You're focusing on the final result more than checking every single line of code the AI writes.
In this timeline, wow, it really shows you just how fast this all went down. Karpathy points to one single month as the moment the floodgates just opened. AI agents went from being kind of clunky and unreliable to being actual functional partners. And in just a few weeks, his whole workflow flipped. The human wasn't the writer anymore. They became the editor.
Okay, so how do we actually wrap our heads around this new relationship? Well, academics who are studying this whole thing have come up with a really great metaphor to explain the difference between the old way of using AI and this new world of vibe coding.
So if you look on the left, you've got co-piloting. This is the world most developers know, right? Tools like GitHub Copilot. The human is totally in charge, and the AI is there to help you be more efficient and accurate. But then you look to the right, and that's code drifting. This is vibe coding. Here, the human and the AI are more like creative partners. The goal isn't just to write clean, reusable code, it's to explore and discover new things. The code itself becomes less permanent and more like the leftover footprints of that creative journey.
And if you want to boil it all down, this one quote from a developer in a study just nails it. Co-piloting helps you, co-drifting or vibe coding changes you. It's the difference between an AI that helps you do what you were already planning to do and an AI that helps you find things you didn't even know you were looking for. Big difference. But like any big revolution, right, there are two sides to this coin. It offers this incredible new power, but it also comes with some pretty serious risks. It's the classic story of promise and peril. First, let's talk about the promise, because it is absolutely staggering. Karpathy described this really complex project, setting up servers, downloading models, building a dashboard, writing a report, the whole shebang. A few months ago, that would have been a weekend project. Easy. With a modern AI agent, he kicked it off and it was pretty much done in the time it takes to grab a coffee. Just wow.
But then you have the morning after, the vibe coding hangover. We're starting to hear reports from all over the industry about this new kind of technical mess. It's this development hell where senior engineers are stuck cleaning up fragile, hard to maintain, and sometimes insecure code that was just vibed into existence.
So this really gets us to the heart of the debate. The promise is that it unlocks creativity. It makes it easier for non-coders to build things, and it lets us work at a higher level. But the peril is that it can hurt a developer's identity. It creates these brittle systems with hidden security holes, and there's a real risk that tiny little AI mistakes can snowball into huge failures.
And, at the end of the day, as ShiftMag points out, this isn't just a technical debate. For a lot of developers, writing elegant code is a source of real pride and identity. And when a machine can do that instantly, that feels personal.
So all this tension, it forces us to ask, what does it even mean to be a developer anymore? The job isn't going away, but the job description is getting a complete rewrite.
It's a move from being down in the engine room to being up on the bridge, steering the ship.
So the job really changes in three big ways. First, you go from writer to editor, guiding these big AI code chunks instead of typing out every single line. Second, you go from mechanic to manager, orchestrating whole teams of AI agents. Which means the most valuable skill, it's not about knowing Python or JavaScript syntax anymore. It's about having the deep technical judgment to know what to ask for and to know if the AI's answer is actually any good.
This little comparison here, it sums up the new reality perfectly. For decades, the thing slowing us down was the time it took a person to physically write code. Now, the bottleneck is you. It's your skill, your taste, and your ability to clearly explain what you want. We've moved from a world of execution to a world of judgment.
And that, right there, is the great paradox of this whole vibe coding revolution. Even though it's making it easier for anyone to get started, it actually makes real, deep expertise even more valuable than it was before. The best architects, the people with the best technical judgment, can now amplify their skills on a scale that was just impossible before.
And that leaves us with one final, and I think really critical question. In a world where the act of writing code is becoming instant and basically free, what is the real worth of the one thing a machine can't replicate? Your judgment. The answer to that question, it's going to define not just the future of software, but really the future of all of our work.